Oh, I need a hero till the end of the night. And we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Huddle. As always, it is great to be back here. Great to have you all tuning in. Hopefully, you are finally getting over the insane UFC 259 card. As you can see, Big Willie is not here, sadly. He's tied up with duties. So, as you know, sometimes his schedule is sporadic, so it's not structured with work, etc. And his miss, obviously, with work. So it's a little bit up and down when I can get him in and when we can get him on the podcast of late. So I'm going to be breaking down the Belal Muhammad taking in Leon Edwards. Kind of short notice for Belal in a way, a few weeks' notice. Huge matchup for Belal, so I'll be breaking down that card shortly. Before I jump into the breakdown of that card, I'd like you all, if you take a moment, just to hit that subscribe button down the bottom there. It doesn't take long to hit it. There's channels out there that don't do it, not MMA related, but they have absolute tosh on, and they've got millions of subscribers. So for a moment of your time, it'd be great if you could just hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. And the like button. 2 quick seconds. You're on your phone that much these days. Quick taparoo. It'd be much appreciated. We're getting more subscribers all the time. It's slowly going up on the channel. It's what we need to see. It's what we want to see. Because the more subscribers we get, the more content we'll end up putting out for everyone out there. So I want to start by saying thank you for everyone who has subscribed recently. Anyone new to the channel, it was great getting your feedback last week on the UFC 259 card breakdown. All of you guys and girls that were joining the conversation, and of course later on during the week posting your little comments in. We try to get back to everyone as best we can. As you can imagine, we all have our own lives and we do what we can during that schedule. Looking back at UFC 259 though, Amanda Nunes, I suppose there was always that doubt in everyone's head that maybe Megan Anderson could pull off the Holly Holm Ronda Rousey moment, a head kick, something out of the blue, and she got mollywopped, absolutely plastered all over the show. Wasn't even a fight. Megan Anderson was levels below Amanda Nunes and didn't deserve that strap and won't ever, in my opinion, should not get a strap in the UFC. Hopefully, Dana White said himself is the 145 division will stay around as long as Amanda Nunes is interested, which really says a lot about the division. I'm flabbergasted. I think, who is there? There's no one else unless it's a 135 that he doesn't want to cut to go to 145 to fight Amanda. That's about it. There's no depth. It's super shallow. There's hardly anyone in the division. They're clutching at straws. They should make if they're going to make another women's division. I know it's International Women's Week, so I'm not being anti-women, by the way. It's just the 145 division is a bit shallow. There is a bit of a lack of talent in there. I would certainly look at the 105 division, the atomweight division. It is a sick little division there. So there's a lot of women in there, a lot of talent. And there's girls actually in the 115 division in the UFC who might even go down to 105. So you could even get some of fighters going on down to there. UFC betting experience, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Great card, the free main fights. Yeah, insane, brother. Pena is next at 135. Well, she did say, didn't she, about trying to get a matchup with her. If that's the next fight for Amanda Nunes, that's the next fight. I imagine Amanda might take a little bit of time off. Just obviously being the parenthood going on at the moment for Amanda Nunes, being a mum. I imagine she's going to take a bit of time with the little one for a few months, and then she'll get back into things again. Because obviously 145, it's probably an easier weight class. I want to say a weight cut and fight camp for Amanda Nunes. Obviously the drop of 10 pounds is a big difference. She probably doesn't mind doing the 145 as much. Now she'll have a little bit of time off to get herself ready for it. But yeah, Amanda Nunes, absolute savage. Daniel Edwards, where's the guy last week that was hosting in the suit? I know. See, I got right. Dan, lockdown happened, so I'm not in the work attire. I'm in me comfy, cozy work attire. This is comfort and cozy now. So I'm working from home at the moment, so I don't have to dress up, my friend. Sorry, I know. The beard is on point, so that's about it, my friend. The beard's always on point for everyone. I couldn't even bother doing my hair. That is hat hair. I'm dreading what's underneath this. It's not so bad. It's not so bad, but I've got hat hair, so I'm going to have to put my Chargers hat back on just to hide the hat hair, brother. And, yeah, well, Charger. Thank you, bro. My best mate got me this for Christmas, my Chargers beanie. Love my Chargers. Obviously, if anyone else got their NFL teams, feel free to shout them out because I have no gripes about any other teams. It's just a fun sport I follow. And also from UFC 259, the controversy going around Aljamain Sterling winning the bantamweight title against Peter Yan. It was a bit of a letdown. Let's be honest with you, a deflated moment. It was not the way to win a belt for anyone, anytime. I believe it's the first time I think a title fight has ended in a disqualification and the other man wins the title. I'd like to, obviously, if I'm Dana White, the first thing I'm doing is immediately, as soon as I think they're both cleared medically, you're booking that bout straight away on the next pay-per-view because that will actually do wonders for the pair of them. That will get a lot more intrigue, a lot of eyes on it more. People will be watching it more. And if you watch the fight yourself, you'll have seen bend the knee. Bend the knee. I would bend the knee, but I'm too classy for that, my friend. Here we go. Aljo won the Oscar on UFC. But look, I'm not going to say here that he did or did not. There was some form of contact, obviously. I don't know to what extent Aljamain was hurt maybe before that, to maybe that might have amplified the knee. I don't know. I do not know. He's Dolphins fan here. Tua, we trust. Mate, young talent, just like our boy Herbert. It's going to be fun, interesting times for the Dolphins and Chargers in the next 2-3 years, see what can come along, my friend. So I'm big time looking into that. Yeah, so maybe Aljamain did make a little bit more of it because he was losing the fight by then. But it looked to me like Yan had got his way in the fight where he needed to get what he needed and started to really work out what Aljo was about, and he was starting to just get that distance. You could see in the scoring, you could see with the landing of the strikes that everything collectively for Yan was starting to come together. And it looked, I was thinking, I don't know if Aljo is going to get back into this, and he obviously was losing the fight on the cards. He probably overall would have lost. I don't know what judge had Aljo winning that fight. I wasn't too much of a fan of that. But it happens. Yan is a cheat and a meathead. 90s, please. Yan was wrong to throw the knee. Yeah, leave the champ alone. Yan was wrong to throw the knee. I agree. But we've got to also look at it like that's not the first time we've seen an illegal knee in MMA. It's happened in all weight classes. Different fighters do it. It happens. So I don't look at it as like it's a title fight. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it anyway. So it does happen. You know, knees to the head do happen. It's accidental. There's rush of blood to the head. There's, you know, sometimes you're anticipating, don't forget, your opponent to make that step up, to go up on their feet, to throw the knee or the kick, etc. So, you never know. But look, I am not going to sit there and say Aljo's champ. Rightly so. He's a champ on just by technicality. I'd like to see the rematch to really kind of state who the champ is. In my opinion, I think it's going to be really hard for Aljo to get that W, because I think Yan's kind of figured out what Aljo's strengths are and kind of technique. He's kind of have figured it out really early on in the start of the first few rounds. I think this next time around, Yan will have the numbers in the head, figure out what's going on, and be able to maybe apply himself a bit quicker, a bit sooner, and maybe start to get the better of the fight from the second round onwards. But either way, it was a bit of a rough one. And obviously, there are lots of going on social media, guys. I will be jumping into the breakdown of the Edwards and Belal Muhammad card. I thought I'd just jump into kind of like the news bit beforehand, which is weird. But Dan Hardy, potentially, I think it looks like no longer with the UFC. Some random stories getting released. We don't know the truth yet. The truth is out there. If you get that reference, you'll know what I mean. But I will just state this right now, ladies and gentlemen. I have dealt with Dan Hardy on a personal level over the years, many years now, thinking about it. Jeez. I realize how old I am, but I have dealt with Daniel Hardy for many years. even on social media, when I found out about stuff for his guys in his camp, about the opponents getting injured before they even knew about it, he's contacted me directly. Polite, stand-up guy, really nice to talk to, really good human being. I don't know what the heck has gone on there. I think the UFC need to really fix that ASAP, because losing someone like that is a stupid thing to do. Dan Hardy's a great guy on the mic. He's a wonderful human being. From my experience, I've never seen or heard anyone speak but ill of him. So it's really weird to see this happen. So I'm a bit thrown off by this one, guys. UFC plus 200 on a rematch. Yeah, the champ is plus 200. I know. I saw those odds, bro. And you know what? Because of he wasn't winning the fight. It's as simple as that. And I won't be going near outshowing that betting side of things, man. Jan starting off his UFC career as a great with a DQ loss like John Jones. Exactly what it is. And then Jan's going to win and dominate the division for the next 5 years. It was really impressive, Jan's wrestling. I think he just, you know what, Jan had the blessing, so to speak, of the Magomedov fight back in the day, a few years back. And that really was the ticket to get things sorted, to get into where he is now. That he needed that fight out the side of the UFC so that when he got to the UFC, this didn't happen. And he has got a great skill set. He's got a great IQ. And I honestly think it's going to be wonderful, that rematch. It's going to be fireworks to watch. And I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, with Dan Hardy, I'm absolutely devastated about it. Hopefully, Bellator, if they are sharp, they would just get Dan Hardy in a heartbeat. Why would you not want to get Dan Hardy? He's making money, and don't worry, Dan Hardy's making wedge with the UFC, but also he's got his reptile channel on YouTube, etc., which is getting big numbers in, man. So kudos to him. Yeah, Jan moves like cat. He does. Absolute savage. UFC getting rid of Hardy is dumb, yeah. Yet they keep Gianni, the Greek, yeah, payroll, who's fraud, Hardy, who's a wife, yeah, and Hardy, who's a wife beater, and keep their jobs. Man, I don't get it. We haven't had the full release, so to speak, from the UFC. There's not been an official announcement either. So, I'm not jumping on to say he has been fired. From what's been out there, it looks like Dan Hardy, I'd like to think he's going to put something out there on social media, on his kind of on YouTube channel, hopefully. Greg Hardy, yeah, I got that, bro. Yeah, Greg Hardy's wife being Dan. I think we should chill with Hardy's comments. We don't know why he was released. Exactly, yeah. We don't know. And until we find out, it'd be interesting. It's super interesting, though, because so far it looks like there's only positive words about him, so I don't know what the crack is. But like I say, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to give us your picks. I'm going to start going through the card now. Give me your picks each fight. You can either say the name of who you're picking, or you can just give me a little mini breakdown of why you think. I'm going to start off with Jason Witt taking on Matheus Semelsberger. Mouthful, that, isn't it? Now, there's been a couple of fights that have been pulled off the card so far because of injuries. Now, I don't know if the matchups have been rejigged yet. They could be getting announced. They could have matches announced while I'm doing this. So feel free to let me know, because I just don't have everything in front of me. Like I say, Jason Witt against Matheus Semelsberger. Do you know what? I kind of like Matheus on this one as a fighter. Looking over his fight kind of resume, watching his fights as well, he's just a good all-rounder. The dude's not like a bad fighter. He's got good striking. He's got good power in his hands. He's got a bit of grappling about him. He's a good dude. He's a good fighter. Jason Witt, obviously with Gloria MMA, James Krause with the Megan Anderson crew. Again, he's a solid fighter too, man. We've got the 90s. I like Witt here for the win. Okay, bro. And Witt, do you know the thing with is he's super experienced. Ton of experience this cat has got, man. He's been on the regional scene for a long time. I interviewed him, I think it was Titan FC, was it? Or was it Victory FC? Ah, man, which promotion? Or it could have been Shamrock FC. Gosh, that's how long ago it was when I was interviewing Jason Witt. But he's a super nice dude. He's a good fighter, in my opinion. I think he's got a great little skill set. He has got good endurance. The Tashaki Sato fight, where he got sparked out in the first round, came in, stepped in on that fight. The Zach Bus, Sato's got pop on his hands, and if you don't mind the P's and Q's, you're going to sleep there. But with Busia, I think that Busia is a tough guy to fight. This is outside the UFC on the regional scenes, and I've always been a kind of big fan of what Zach Busia could do. I think he's a good all-rounder. And for me, Jason Witt, man, he's got the ground game. I think Semelsberger is a bit of a surprise package. Man, it's not an easy one for me to pick on. Semelsberger survived a round versus William Knight as an amateur, so I've got him for the win. Wow, that's a kudos to him. I think the over should be good here, but that's the pre-tape. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Witt is a betting underdog. Yeah. Witt has been KO'd in every loss, so be careful. Okay, that is something to get. I actually kind of like Semelsberger. I just think I don't think he's a bad fight. I think he was a surprise package when he came in. You know, when he made his debut, I was surprised by what he could do. Obviously, you got to look at who they're fighting. I didn't think much of Colton Minus. I did not think much of him at all. But at the same time, you've just got to go with what you've got. Man, Jason Witt's a tough dude. If he gets the fight to the ground, he can cause a bit of problems here. But starts on the feet. I think Semelsberger's got nice hands. I'm going to go Semelsberger here. I do. I think he can actually pop off a win. I think he's a good all rounder, and I think he's only going to get better. I think he's only going to develop a bit more in his UFC early days in his career. So I'm looking forward to see what Semelsberger can do. Next up, we have is in the 115 pound division. Get that right. Is Jinh Frey against Gloria de Paula. Jinh Frey is. One thing I've got to say about her is you've got to make a note of her age. She is 36, 37, but a girl's in insane condition. So you kind of can let her get away with it, so to speak, because kind of like Renee. Renee's obviously early 40s, but she's in phenomenal condition. Some people have it. So, yeah. Minus is a bum, but Matheus looks solid, yeah. Minus was... Oh, man, he was rough. It was rough watching him. And you know what irks me is that someone like that gets a UFC debut. He gets to have the UFC gloves in his name and the shorts, and it's like everyone should get it if it's that way. You know what I mean? I'd go in there with. I'm currently heavyweight. I'd go in there with. I wouldn't go with Tom Aspinall because I like him and I don't want him to hurt me. I'd go with Andre Arlovski. You know, just get me some shorts. First bomb insult of the chat. There's going to be more than one or two probably popping out. I need to see the face off the fight. Fury says issue fights. Yeah, man. Fury for the upset. Yeah, she has. Big time. She needs a win. Jinh Frey's lost 2 in a row in the UFC. She's in the chopping block. She's 9-6. Don't forget though. So let's not look at it like she's a girl who's fought around since like the past, I'd say 8 years, something like that, 8-9 years. She's fought a load of fighters like Jody Escobar, Cassie Robb. She's fought Mina Grusenzanger. She's fought Ashley Cummins. And obviously in the UFC, she's fought Kay Hansen and Luke Boomy. And now Luke Boomy was surprisingly good. Surprised, I think, Jinh Frey in the clinch. Luke Boomy with that Muay Thai background is a monster in the clinch. She's really strong, really good knees, really good technical aspect, and just can bully you about. She has to get the W here. There's the Gloria, though. I don't know how much folks have watched her in the UFC. Outside the UFC. They know my Contender Series. I won't lie. She looked good. Like, she controlled her strikes. Looked like she's got some mean pop in her hands. Handled the grappling kind of well. The big story here is, can Gloria stop the grappling, stop the fight getting to the ground, because Jinh was probably want to get on top and try and get a bit of ground and pound and just win the fight that way. One of the things she has to do really is stop that grappling aspect. Can she use her physicality to get Jinh Frey off her? We've seen that Jinh had a problem with getting Luke Boomy on the ground. That's something to take note of. She had a bit of difficulty with that, which I thought she would have had a bit more success in. Yeah, here we go. So, guys, you're pinging out these messages. It's great to see. Frey wins. If she wrestles, to a decision or submission. She does, Daniel. Yeah, absolutely, brother. You look like a Canadian with that hat on. Thank you, Sammy. Mate, I'm happy and warm, eh? That's all I care about. Toasty. And let's have a look here. She is so small. That's the issue, but if the size isn't a big issue, Frey is live. Yeah. Yeah, size can be an issue because she's not the cut. She's always leaned. If you look on her social media, she does not get but she's undersized, and she does have an age disadvantage. Yeah, it is a factor. Yeah, and one of the things with the low volume, it's not a good fight to bet on risky. I agree, it is a risky bet, brother. I wouldn't bet on it. I'm actually going to go with Gloria because I think that one of the things I feel with Jinh is she's very gun shy because I think she's scared to get involved with the striking side of things because some of these girls in the UFC, they've got some serious pop in their hands and they can be dangerous. Gloria is one of those girls who could. And I think they brought Gloria in to maybe get that W against someone like Jinh Frey who, like I say, her age isn't on her side. She's lost 2 already. The UFC probably think, right, there's not much this girl's going to do in the next 3-4 years to surprise us and come back. She's not going to do a Jan Blachowicz. She hasn't got that time on her side. I would not be surprised. I'm going to go with Gloria. I think she can maybe get taken down still, but get the damage on the feet to get away with that decision win there. So I'm going to go over that side of things. I'm going with Gloria. I'm going to go crazy with this one. Let's see here. Yeah, it's very over for takedown. She gets back up though, so I'll go with Gloria down. She is. That's a couple of decision losses she had, which was one of the factors. I know Gloria's KOs are in the third. Moise, great to have you on, buddy. Yeah, man. I hope you're keeping well. Great to see you on social media tweeting away some of your sarcastic stuff. I like it, brother. I love it. Jinh no chin, fraud. Yeah, gets the pink slip. Boom. And next up, we have in the 135-pound division, liking this matchup a lot, guys and girls. I'm just going to say that. Sorry, it's an International Women's Day. Got to admit that women are around too, and who watch this, I'm sure they do. I'm also trying to make a note of the timestamps for the fights because I keep getting messages about it, and I'm going to let you know now. I do the live stream with Will or myself, and then by the time I've done this and I got all the editing up the next day, I have to do it the next day, so I'm usually 24 hours behind on it. We're going to try and make a note of it now to get ahead of the game. We have Jonathan Martinez against Davey Grant in 135-pound division. Tough one for Davey Grant, I think, this one here. I think Martinez against Thomas Almeida looked fantastic. Superb little output he had. Great, no fear. Lovely combinations. Frankie Saenz' finish was fantastic. Because Frankie Saenz, I know he's on the last stage of his career big time, but tough dude, always puts a hard shift in. Man, I like the matchup for Jonathan Martinez, in my opinion. I think Davey Grant is a good fighter. He's definitely on the, let's say, on the curve of his kind of comeback, so to speak, of all the injuries over time. He's kind of been out of the game for such a long, like 2013 was the Ultimate Fighter Contender Series. Didn't get back till 2016 when he beat Marlon Vera. Let's remember he beat Marlon Vera, who's now flying high. Then he fought Stasiak, lost that fight, bless him. Then he was out again for like 2 years. Then the Bermudez fight happened, lost that. Then he didn't fight again for another year. Popov win and Martin Day win. So he's fought again. He's sticking with his consistency of fighting like once a year almost. But you've got to remember, it's not an advantage fighting once a year. It's rough and it can be a tough day for you in the office. Fight to start, round 3, finish could happen. In the third, Grant will force the issue. He would go. Martinez wins a close fight, in my opinion. I think it'll be a great bout. Honestly, I do, because I think Davey Grant, he's got a tough chin, can take a hit. You're not going to see Martinez want to take the fight to the ground for the submission side of things, which is one of the things that Davey Grant seems to be open, susceptible to, is definitely the submission side of things against the stronger grapplers. On the feet, he's game. He's definitely game for a fight, definitely game to get in there and throw back and forth. You've got to remember 135, and he's 35 years old, Davey Grant. Again, I don't want to always harp on about age, but it's something you got to look at every fight that comes into it. I'm looking towards Martinez in this one. I think output's a big factor. I think his kind of toughness is a good one. And the variety of strikes he can do. Martinez can mix it up really well. He can throw obscure strikes that you're not really expecting, close combat, high strike, octane kind of moves. So I kind of like it in this one. Look at this one. Daniel, boom, thrown out there. I think Grant has to get KO to win. Okay, hey. to get the stoppage for Grant would be the thing, because I would be surprised if he could outwork Martinez on the striking side of things. I think Grant's got a good output with the leg kicking side of things. If he can throw those leg kicks and slow down Martinez, that might work, but I don't see it happening. I just don't. You obviously bet and would go, this is a trap fight betting-wise, in my opinion. Mate, there's a couple of fights in here. I personally would probably avoid them. I wouldn't go near them. If I was even going to go, if you're going to bet on this fight, I would go over rounds, like over 1.5 rounds kind of thing. That's probably about it. I would just, I wouldn't even go. You could maybe do decision, but even then, I'd go over 1.5 rounds anyway myself, bro. So that's where I'm going. I'm going Martinez. That's how I feel on this one. I definitely feel it's an opportunity here for Martinez to get a good win as well against someone like Davey Grant, who's definitely been on the rebound, come back in the fight game. I've got to step up to the next fight now. Let's have a look here. 25-35. I've got to write this down, guys and girls. Otherwise, people whinge that I haven't put the timestamps. We've got here Charles Jourdain against Marcelo Rojo. 145 division. Mate, Charles Jourdain has been a bit of a letdown for me. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's actually a really good fighter. I think he's got a wicked little skill set about him. I think he's got some good moves, good combination of striking and grappling. And he's just not doing it for me. And I don't know why he can't pull it together. I don't know what it is about him. He's got himself an ideal fight up in Marcelo, who's from the Combate world, Combate Americas, which is like the kind of Mexican-based style of all Latin America fighters. Now, I'll be honest with you, some of these guys aren't that good. His fight IQs suck. Is this Charles Jourdain you're talking about? I hope so, bro. And it annoys me because it seems he has got the talent there. He's got the skill set. He's got the athleticism. He's kind of got all of that, but the fight IQ, it lets him down, man. And it's when stuff like this happens, he's got to fight a guy in Marcelo who I watched him fight John Castaneda in Combates. I watched him fight Jesse Strada and someone else as well. I can't remember who it was now. No disrespect to his opponent. I just can't remember who it was I watched. When doing the tape study, it's not easy to remember every opponent they've watched. But the one thing in the ground game, he showed Marcelo looked a little bit lackluster and a bit stuck on the ground. He likes to stand and bang a bit more. He definitely has a bit of a striking game about him, which can be a problem for fighters. And I think if Charles Jourdain gets stuck there, he's going to have a bit of a problem with it to win. But I can't bet on him until he shows improvements. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, the two finishers, so under 2.5 is viable. They are finishers. I think the one thing in Charles Jourdain is he's a bit unpredictable. Fight IQ, like the Joshua Culibao fight. How on earth? Oh, I'm scratching my head, guys and girls, because how do you not beat someone like Joshua Culibao? I'm honestly, he should have absolutely went through him like a hot knife through butter. I understand he lost to Des Green. Des Green's a solid fighter, solid wrestler. I understand that. I'm cool with that one. Du Hoi Choi, great finish, great win. The Andre Philly fight, again, split decision, but I understand that as well. I don't mind him losing to someone like that. Andre Philly's a great opponent, but really could choke, you reckon, for Jourdain? If I'm Charles Jourdain, I am taking the fight to the ground, Daniel. You have to take this fight to the ground and get him down and get the submission in this fight, because that's where Rojo is viable to be defeated. He's open there. He's exposed. I'd like to see it. I hope he gets it. I think he'll definitely start the fight in the first round or two. Definitely on the feet before he even starts to integrate any grappling side of things. But I will go Charles Jourdain. I do think he is the better fighter. I do think he's a stronger one. But I'm going to bet Rojo KO round one. Moyes order. Brother, love it. I love some of the bats like that. Look at that. Straight out of the park. No fear. Get in your face. How do you like them apples? Loving it. Yeah. Hedge Jourdain by sub. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's one of them ones where I'd be surprised if Jourdain could knock him out on the feet, but I just think that he needs to get the fight to the ground. And talking about submissions, getting the fight to the ground, we've got a man up next. I'm just going to make another note at times. Rani Yahya against Ray Rodriguez is next up in that one. And I'm telling you right now, Man, Ronnie Yahya's got one way of winning, and that's how he likes to win. And it is the submission game. The dude doesn't care how. He's 36 years old. He's not the biggest guy with striking at all. He throws, I think they're punches. I feel rude saying they're punches, but he throws these things called punches. Ricky Simone manhandled him with the wrestling. It showed that wrestling was king in that department. The Barzola fight was a good one as well. I actually quite enjoyed that fight. I thought it was an interesting back and forth bout. I was a bit disappointed with Barzola. I thought he could have manhandled it a bit better, but Ray Rodriguez, guys and girls, that if that's not a layup, I don't know what is. This dude has lost to Chris Gutierrez, he's lost to Tony Gravely and Brian Kelleher so far, and I just don't think he's of the level of UFC. I do not. I just don't get it, man. I think the guy's going to have a rough time, even against Ronnie Yahya, man. I know Ronnie's getting a bit on, but he is. Whew, yeah. He's bringing the heat. Yeah, he is, brother. He always does. I love the guy, man. Ray knocks him out in the third after Rani gets tired. Look, boys, the thing is, that is what we've got to be wary of. Rani Yahya, if he cannot get a submission in the first 2 rounds, you do see a bit of a problem with him. Tiredness, gassing, it is always a worry. But one thing about Rodriguez is, he got choked by Kelleher, he got ground and pounded by Gravely, but he got taken down. Then the Gutierrez fight, rear naked choke loss. He can get stopped by fighters on the ground stage, and if it's on the ground, it's obviously got down there, and he tends to not be that awesome watching him fight, man. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be shocked if he beat Rani Yahya, because Ronnie's not amazing on the feet, and he is hittable. You can actually hit him, and it's not hard to. But I would not be shocked if that happened, man. Let's see. Here we go. What's going on here? Exactly. Ray has a good sub defense. Man, but Ronnie Yahya's not like he's not like me going for a submission. It's not like someone just. I can do submissions. I've won MMA bouts with submissions, but I'm not Ronnie Yahya submissions. The dude's got like a gorilla grip, and he's small, like a little small chimpanzee, but he's got gorilla grip. It's a different kind of ballpark, man, with that stuff. And James Flick is similar to Ronnie Yahya. Finish parlay these 2 fights in a small cage, which also can influence, if it's small cage, makes it more likely takedowns are optional there. Bet the under. From what it sounds, didn't look like this one. Yeah, didn't look at this. Okay, I haven't looked into it. I haven't looked into it overly. I've watched 2 fights of Ray's, and I've watched 2 fights of Ronnie's. It was only because I looked at Ray. I looked at his Dana White contender fight, and I looked at one of his Combate fights. But other than that, I've not went overly into it. But I would say be wary of it. I would bet inside of things. Oh, man, just be careful with that one, guys and girls. I'm going to Ronnie Yahya. I think he will get a submission big time, man. I just think he's a dangerous cat. Even though he's 36 now, he doesn't always seem to look in great shape. I've still got Ronnie Yahya. I think he's just one of those guys he's got such a high elite level in one aspect. It can give you such a great advantage. If you can get your fight to the ground, he'll even go into his back for like ankle, heel hooks and leg locks, all sorts, knee bars. So, and we've seen obviously that still is viable. People still get those submission wins. People still getting finishes. Cyril Garney got a finish like that. So let's not take that out of context too much. With Ronnie Yahya falling on his back, but I reckon he will probably go for a kind of pulling guard kind of thing. Let me just quickly make another timestamp note, because we're going to the next bout, which there we go. There we are. Look at that. Flying here. We have got Cortney Casey, JJ Aldrich in the 125 women's division. Cortney Casey, her tracker close. Obviously, he is helping her in training camp, I hope, because the dude's not a bad fighter, great output, he's got good striking, good conditioning. I'd hope he's helping her out a lot, because Cortney Casey needs a lot of help at the moment. She's 9-8. That's not good. I know it's a women's division, so they kind of get away with it because they're women and they're not always got good odds. And again, it's not being sexist, but it's a bit shallow, so they kind of let them stick around a bit longer than they should do. But yeah, Courtney Casey, she's got fantastic upkicks. Let's just take that into account. You look at the Jessica Aguilar fight. That was, or you can look at the Cynthia Carvalho fight. There's, you want to really be looking at fights where she's fighting a good strikers kind of side of things, because Gillian Robertson, that fight, I know she lost by submission, but she's not a striker, Gillian Robertson, so she's not going to be she's not going to try and strike with her. Yeah, Angela Hill, she's meant to be a striker, but it is what it is. Again, yeah, Michelle Watson fight as well. Looking at them fights is something to stay a look at. JJ Styles on her round one, then she output drops and she cries robbery. Okay. JJ Aldrich got good hands. She can box well. She can keep it. But you got to take into account that she's not the tallest compared to a height issue here for her. JJ Aldrich has to get that fight closed down a lot better. The Mazzo fight, distance was an issue. The clinch game, she didn't enjoy the clinch game too much. Something that Courtney Casey can maybe work on and take advantage of. But she has got wins. Like JJ's got the wins over Polyana Viana. Lauren Mueller, yeah, it's a win. It's not a great win. But when she lost to Macy Barber was that was when she was on a little tear. She did fantastic stuff then. Danielle Taylor, the Chan Mi Joan fight. She's done well, JJ Aldrich, in aspects of fights she's had. I think Courtney Casey is almost, I feel it's a do or die fight for Courtney Casey. I think she's got to win. Her stay in the UFC, they'll start looking at her as a potential pink slipper as well, because you can't be. I think she's like won 3 fights in 5 or 6. What's this here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's won 3 out of, she's 3 and 4. Look at that. 3 and 4. Now she's 3 and 5. Yeah. So she's actually, oh wow, she's lost more than she's won the UFC. They keep her around. Kudos to doing that, but I'd be surprised if they keep her after this. I would be surprised, because they've started to fill out the divisions a lot more. I'm actually going to favour JJ Aldrich in this one. I do think she can get the hands out. And Aldrich should win. Agreed, bruv. Courtney Casey, she can get split decisions. She can fight a bit dirty, but Aldrich, as long as she fights smart with boxing, gets the hands on her, gets a distance away, and can put at least 2 rounds in, get at least 2 rounds. That's all we ask, JJ, is 2 rounds from you. We can get a win there for JJ Aldrich. So I am going Aldrich on this one. But yeah, like everyone's saying there, she should win, but we don't know. Awesome middleweight bout up next. I'm gutted. I'm going to break this down. I'm in the sense that I have to pick someone, because I love both of the guys. Interviewed both of them. It breaks my heart to do it, but we've got Eryk Anders and Darren Stewart. So yeah, it's going to be a rough one here. So let's see here. So, Kevin, hey, how's it going, buddy? Aldrich showed good fight IQ in the Viana fight. She did, yeah, agreed. Hopefully we don't up and down. We should all over ourselves, yeah. And Casey will outmuscle her. JJ is overrated. I think JJ's been found out a little bit. I think she was rated highly going into the UFC, and I think she's finally been kind of found out over a few fights. Myself, I was big up on her. Then when I saw her, and after a few fights in the UFC, I think she kind of got found out a bit. She definitely, I feel like she's not evolved enough, for my opinion. I think she needs to add more to her game and just keep going with the flow of changing and evolving and adding stuff to always make the next opponent that she faces worry what's coming next. Because if you're always going to be the same, you're always going to be getting beaten. Then it's a bit easier for people to fight out for. Here we go. East London will prevail over Alabama. Yeah, you got your boy Eryk Anders. And I like Eryk Anders at 205. I think the dude's not cutting too much weight there. I think he looks all right in that weight class. And I think it suits him. And he did look good, though, against Jotko, Eryk Anders. I thought he didn't fight too badly in that fight, man. I thought he fought pretty well. I thought Jotko just had the better output, and he was able to really get a win on him there. He beat Vinicius Moreira and Gerald Mershak. Again, the Mershak one, as long as you put a higher output against Mershak in the first 2 rounds, you kind of tend to get the W there because you can get the decision over him. Vinicius Moreira fight, Vinicius isn't anything to write home about. But as a whole, you can stop him. You can defeat him. And one thing I've been impressed with Darren Stewart is conditioning, managing himself over the 3 rounds. He's definitely come on big time, obviously, from his UFC debuts. Let's say the first few fights. The Kevin Holland fight. Hopefully you'll impressed with the Kevin Holland performance, man. I thought Darren did great in that fight, man. I thought he stepped in and was dead on. I thought he put a great little performance on. The Mackie fight, getting that guillotine finish was a great one for Darren to have that on his resume, having a submission win, because now if Eryk's going for the takedowns, which I think Eryk might try to go and do a little bit of grappling, he'll find there's a bit of difficulty with the grappling side of things, because you saw Fabianski getting that decision win over Darren Stewart. That there was a poor decision taking that fight, but Darren definitely is always trying to grow his wrestling game. Fabianski's just a one-trick pony. Once you can figure that out, there's not much else to add on him. So when he's definitely Fabianski's a good guy. If he's fighting certain opponents, you're going to make money with him. But look, Darren Wink had a bit of difficulty against Darren Stewart. I think Darren's power is going to probably surprise Eryk Anderson in this fight, man, because Darren pops, man. That dude pops hard. Fight to start, round 3, Anders versus Dennis. Okay. I bet Stewart already. Woo. Eryk cardio and volume suck, yeah, and he don't grapple much, while Stewart should improve in his grappling. He has showed it big time. Darren's become an English wrestler like Edwards, so I think I'm safe with the over. Yeah, Darren has improved. I like to see that everyone else has noticed that as well. He definitely did work on that. It's something he has taken on board. He did go and train with various guys to get that nailed, and certainly can't trust Anders anymore. Could you ever trust Anders? I think Eryk Anders was a guy. What I love about Eryk Anders is he is like Cowboy, where they just say, do you want to fight? He says yes, and he just comes in and fights. That Lyoto Machida fight was fantastic. I like Eryk Anders. He's game. He goes forward. He's aggressive. He brings you entertainment value. I think he'll probably lose this fight to Darren Stewart. I'm going definitely Stewart, but I just think it's a good, fun fight to have, and I'm looking forward to it. And let's go to the next one. 42 and let me go look at this. Another quick timestamp. Look at me flying here, guys and girls. We're going to go to the flyweight division. Matheus Nicolau is back to the UFC against Manuel Kape. Guys and girls, what did you think of Kape's UFC debut? I'd love to know what you think about it. I'll hold my opinion for a moment while you let me know what you guys think. Eryk Anders beat Brendan Allen, who beat Kevin Holland. So Eryk Anders is one of the best middleweights in the division, fishing total. If MMA Maths said it. Hey, nice for you to join us, brother, and commenting. Love to see it, my man. Love to know what your opinions are of Kape's debut. Like I say, Nicolau's back in the UFC after he got cut, but he didn't get cut because he was a poor fighter. Let's not forget that the UFC had at one point looked like they were getting rid of the 125 division. And I think that was around that era, around that time period, a few years back, when you saw a couple of guys get cut by the UFC. He went off into like Future FC and Brave, got some wins against Philipe Afran. It was a decision win. It was a good fight, that one. Really interesting back and forth battle. And he's a good fighter himself. I think Manuel Kape came with a lot of attention, let's say, and it did not pay off in my opinion. Here we go. Kape versus Math equal staring match to death. And he had a debut. Nerves cage, not a ring, and fight with no shoes and Panjosi. Man, it was rough. Kape is a low volume guy, so sometimes it catches up to him in the cage. Panzoja ain't the one to play the game with him. No. That's a big fact. I think Matheus use movement more than blocking. Kape was infuriating. He was right in the face of Pantoja and didn't let his hands go that much. I did say, though, in the pre-fight beforehand with that bout up, Kape does Kape gets hit. He gets rocked in fights. He has been wobbled in risen. It's not like he goes in and he dominates dudes. He does get hurt himself in fights. Don't get me wrong, he does bounce back in some of them. But I think obviously comes to the UFC that there is a bit more of a level to the UFC guys that he's facing now. And I think that it's a far better introduction to him to the lightweight division with Nicolau. Nicolau, though's got a combination of grappling as well as the striking. He's got good grappling game to him. He can get involved in that. He's got nice submission attempts. So it's something Kape's got to look out for. If he can keep on the feet, I think Kape's got to put a bit more into it this time. He cannot do what he did last time and just sit there and just kind of wait for that clock. He was so adamant he won as well. It was strange watching it. He was so adamant after the bell when the fight was over that he pretty much had that fight in the bank. I can't quite get my head around it myself, but yeah, it was a weird one to watch. I wasn't overly impressed by it myself, but that is what it is anyway. Let's go quickly to here. What you guys saying there? So, and here we go. Kape, here we go. It's long volume guy. Yep. Kape got speed advantage. Yeah. I think he got speed. Yeah, UFC want him to win the Risen Champion. UFC cut marketing wise. Yeah. They want Kape. He is a marketing guy. It's a good one for them. He is. He's got a bit of a mouth. Obviously, beat Ian McCall when he was in Risen and stuff like that. So he's got a bit of marketability to him. They would like him to win. I think with you've got Nicolau. I think he's a good addition to having the 125 division. He's a good all rounder. I think he'll have mixed times because when you crack Nicolau, you can hurt him big time. So I'm probably actually going to go for Kape this time myself, only because I think from the last performance, he cannot afford to do that again. He'll learn from it, thankfully. He's come back in short notice to take this one, so kudos to him. Looking forward to it. The next fight, it's called making a cup of tea in a sandwich fight. You got 15 minutes to put the kettle on, make yourself a brew, make yourself a lovely sandwich, or cook something quickly. You've got plenty of time. It's Ashley Yoder against Angela Hill, the rematch. The rematch everyone's been crying for. I know you guys and girls have been dying to see this. It's been aching on me for this fight to happen. It's going to be rough viewing. Davey was Pantoja is just mad. Yeah, I agree, bro. UFC wanted Rousey to win. Yeah, they wanted her to win all the time, man. Here we go. UFC wanted Dizzy to win. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about his skills. Yeah. So look, we've got Angela Hill and Ashley Yoder. Me and Will talked about it last time. I'm going again with your girl Angela Hill. I think she should win. In my opinion, I don't think there's any reason why she shouldn't win. I think that she should win the fight. Fine. I think Angela Hill should get another decision win. I just don't think Ashley Yoder's added anything to a game that's made me go, she's looking awesome now. I'm in. Not at all. Not one little bit about it is. I'm not confident about her at all in any way. So I'm not going that way at all. I won't go too much into it. I'm sure some of you guys and girls have watched the tape study yourself. But Yoder by decision plus 500 sprinkle. Ooh, there's a reason why. There is a reason why is a plus 500. There's a reason why. Don't forget that. Can't take much from that. Yeah. Look, so let's just take this fight and leave it. It's going to happen. Highly doubt we're going to get fight of the year. That's about it. On to the next one. Please, for everyone's sake, we're going to the next one. Quick timestamp, 40. There we go. Next fight actually is super interesting. Dan Ige, Gavin Tucker. That is a fight and a half, my friends. I am well in on this fight. Love this matchup. Gavin Tucker is a solid all-rounder. He's got a wicked little skill set. He's got really good ground game. He loves his submission side of things. Strong, powerful dude. But you got Dan Ige. And as we've seen, man, the guy is tough as coffin nails. Comes forward, uber aggressive, throws heavy. Oh, wait there, Daniel. I'll let you have this one. You have my £1 by decision, Miss Yoder. Yeah, I'd probably bet £1 fish on it. That's about it. So we've got here a fantastic. Ige is a tremendous little grappling aspect. He is tough to deal with. Hard fighter, hard-nosed guy, always around, always tough to fight with. So I love watching Dan Ige fights because I know I'm going to get possibly either submission by him or decision at the moment. He just keeps going out there. And he's the Calvin Qatar fight. Calvin Cater fight, Qatar. He's not Qatar. Qatar. That was when someone's length and reach really played a factor. He had a tough time getting into it. He had a tough time really getting hold of that fight and getting into it, man. And I was impressed, man. Big time impressed with what he could do. So I was impressed that Danny Ige lasted that long, man. It showed to me how tough he is. It showed that he's got a lot of spirit about him in the fight game. And that heart isn't something that's going to go. I think here he's fighting a guy in Gavin Tucker who is a good fighter all around. But I think Gavin Tucker is he's just a little bit less in the skill set of Danny Ige. I think the aggression from Danny Ige is something that you can't really measure. And I think Gavin Tucker is going to have a tough time here. Gavin Tucker has good game plans. He follows through, I hope he doesn't follow through in the cage, mate. Otherwise, that'll be another Romero poopy pants time. Let's have a look here. Ige versus Tucker is the best fight in the card. Mate, it's a sick fight. Absolutely sick fight. I think for Tucker, this is the step up for Tucker. Big time. I think, he's got to look at this fight and really think to himself, if he gets a win here against someone like Danny Ige, it projects him right up there into the 145 division. Definitely the fight he needs really for himself. But the Billy Quarantino fight, I thought he just dominated that fight pretty well. I thought Billy couldn't, after the first round, get into the fight at all. Justin James did the right thing there. Didn't let the guy throw heavy. Got him down to the ground, choked him. The Wu Choi fight, again, got him down and choked him. He is beatable, but I think that this is definitely his hardest matchup. I think Dan Ige wants to bounce back immensely from this fight. I'm actually on the Dan Ige side, guys. I do like Dan Ige big time. I think he's a wicked little fighter, man. Really, I think Gavin has an advantage. High-level BJJ, technical boxer. If Gavin uses clinch, he could win points. Kevin, he could be. Do you know what I do like? I love Gavin Tucker as a fighter. I do think he's a very good fighter. But Dan Ige's aggression is something that I find, and his tenacity to go for the takedowns and wrestle the fight to the ground and get that position is something that I'd want to take into account. I think if you look at a guy like the Calvins and Glenn's, the tall fighters, that was one thing that you kind of look at as a bit of a difficulty for some of these guys. But it's just an opinion on what I see, Kevin. Don't forget, this is just a thought on what I think. I thought Ronda Rousey was going to beat Holly Holm, man. So, look, we're all allowed to pick the wrong fight or pick the wrong winner. It's allowed, okay? So I'm just going to say Tucker could win it. It does, it seems mentally fragile. There is a fight small margins. I don't know about mentally fragile. I think he's mental of something that absolute whoopings he can take, man. The dude is tough. Ige is a good wrestler, so it comes down to the striking, perhaps. Ige is a dog. Can't count him out. Mate, he is. Fights for your money, Ige. That's what I think I love about Ige. He does fight for your money big time. Ige might be a slight better wrestler. Does Ige have a better ground game than Gavin? Does he have a better ground game? I think what I like about the two different grapplers. So if you watch Gavin, he's like your traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He goes like, position over submission. So he'll get you down, work his way to each place that he wants to get to, whether it be from half guard to side control, to mount, to rear, to get the back, to get the hooks, whatever he's trying to do. It's a nice, Dan Ige is aggressive, hits the ground and pound, really throws himself fast into it, and it's just rapid. It's rapid fire. They're two very different fighters. They're two very different grapplers in that opinion. Billy Q to Ige's tough fight. Absolutely. I think it is a tough. I definitely think it's a harder fight. 100%. Yeah. Billy Q was on a decent run when Tucker beat him. He was, but yes, Ige is a way tougher fight. Gavin Tucker, I think we're probably going to find where Gavin Tucker is with this fight. That's why I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. I think the good thing about this is This is Gavin Tucker's potential coming out parade because he's done well. He lost that Glenn fight, and then he's come back. Since then, he's been performing. This is the fight that really puts him in the mix. If he can beat someone like Danny Ige, he gets in the mix of the 145 division. People will take him seriously, and that's it. I think if Danny Ige wins, I think he goes on to fight someone. Obviously, again, it'll be like a blip. It'll just be going down to the next one. And I feel like Gavin maybe has to start over again at 145s. But that's what I'm picking Danny Ige. I just think there's something about the quick, aggressive technicality of him getting the fight to the ground. Gavin Tucker is a more beautiful finesse kind of grappler, submission guy, and that's something about Gavin Tucker that I like. There's nothing about him. I'm not saying I don't like him. I actually do, bro. I think he's a good one. Got any fights online, Big John? I do, mate. Somewhere there's some amateur fights. I don't think all the pro fights are on, sadly. I haven't fought from, gosh, what were we in 2021, bro? I've not fought since 2014. That's how long it's been. No, 2015? I don't even know when I last fought. How bad's that? Mate, in combination of injuries and then COVID. I was meant to fight back in, what were we in now? So I was meant to fight back in April last year, COVID. Fight before that as well, fell through. And I was meant to fight in Paris last month. COVID happened, obviously, still. Didn't go away. So, whenever, mate, if I ever get a fight again, I'm going to be cutting down to middleweight, dude. I'm way off middleweight, bro. So nightmare. COVID's just wrecked my day. Oh man, it'd be nice to get back in there for at least try and get at least for another couple more fights in me. You know, just to even if I get sparked out cold, mate, I just want to get back in there a couple of times. I miss it. I do miss it, brother. Next up, we're going to go to the next fight. I'm going to quickly make a note of this timestamp. Look at that. Here we go. Gosh, this is going to be a quick one anyway because Ben Rothwell and Philipe Lins, guys. So, yeah. Ben Rothwell, staple in the UFC for many, many years. Had one of the worst post-fight interviews you can imagine. I say worse, like just random. But he's a super, super lovely human being. Really nice individual. But, man, with Ben Rothwell, you just don't know where to go with him. But he's got a guy in front of him, in Philipe Lins, who I think looked good in the PFL because the PFL didn't have that many good heavyweights. So he suddenly looked like a really good heavyweight dude. And obviously, I think he's managed by someone who has connections at the UFC. Well, basically somehow has UFC over barrel. Got him into the UFC after his PFL success, let's say. And he's not really performed. Orlovsky, Boza, hasn't gone well. He's got himself an opportunity now. But if you look, every time he's been stepping up, like in the he went to Bellator, he didn't do too great there. He won a couple of more, lost more. PFL suited him to the ground. UFC started to have a bit of difficulties. Ben Rothwell, he is a tough guy, man. He is a tough guy to fight. Lins dies in the third. He could die in the third, especially if you get that big roar from Ben Rothwell coming out in the second round at the end of it. Lins has no hunger here. He's rich and low effort. Ben is an animal. And he was on roids as well. Wow. Lins was on the roids in the PFL. Very well could have been. I don't know how much testing was going on there or how much they even paid attention to that stuff. PFL could be the new Pride. I wouldn't argue with that. I don't really mind about it. Rothwell was on. I think Rothwell got popped as well, which is weird. When you look at him, you think he's got the wrong stuff. I think they might have mixed it up with some, milkshakes or some milkshake powder. But Ben Rothwell, the dude is awkward to fight, man, because he's just got like a slow punch. It's weird, man. I don't even want to describe his striking. He throws a lot of feints, but it's like a jittery kind of stance. It's not a proper feint because he throws both hands. It's weird, man. It's so a feint is just like a pop. You just pop the hand out, and obviously then that will give you an indication what the opponents would do to that kind of striking, or if they would react. But he is awkward. He's awkward, man. But he got the win against Stefan Struve, who retired, obviously, and then you got the OSP fight, which he got a win over. OSP had a go heavyweight. didn't pay off too well. Ty Burr just outclassed him. But, man, he's not awesome. Like, I've got to be honest with you. Ben Rothwell certainly fell off the wagon. Philipe Lins, though, there is that side of things where it could be the money, you know. Everyone go with Volosky to distance, nothing to take off it. And Lynn's won a lot of money since then. He fights with zero hunger. Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it, to go with Lynn's? Because I've not been overly impressed in his UFC tenure at all. I know Orlovsky's smart, outfought him. I think Rothwell's been hurt a couple of times in recent fights, but he is tough. Lynn's is faster. He'll throw some shots, but Ben Rothwell's kind of tough and can be aggressive. He's quite, domineering in that cage. He's quite aggressive with the ring control. I'll probably go Ben Rothwell because I've not seen anything in Lynn's to make me go, wow. But I'm not overly confident on either picks here. I definitely a pass for me on this one, 100%. So I want to skip past that one and go on to the next one, which is an insanely interesting light heavyweight matchup. We've got Misha Cirkunov against Ryan Spann. Liking the matchup, like the guys a lot. I think Misha Cirkunov is a guy who's really strong grappling game, really good grappling control, can really give guys problems in that area, doesn't take a punch too well. But if you watch his technical side of things on a submission game, now, if you ever want to mess up your live stream, do what I just did and press the button that takes you out of it. So, yeah. Don't do what I did and jump out the screen. Oops. Anyway, Misha Cirkunov, if you can hit him, you're going to have a good day in the office against him, man. He doesn't take hits too well. I'm not saying he hasn't got a chin, but the dude does get hit and he can get hurt. Ryan Spann, I was kind of behind him, big behind him, and he lost that fight to Johnny Walker, man. And it was an alarm bell, that loss as well, mate. I'm just a tool, mate. I'm an absolute dipstick. That's all I am, bro. I just pressed the wrong button, came out of it. Messed up on that one, but yeah. That looked like the Sopranos ending. It did, yeah. Look, guys, for me, Ryan Spann, I was a bit worried in a Johnny Walker fight because he hurt Johnny Walker, overextended on his strikes, chased him, was going for that takedown. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. Keep the fight standing, keep throwing. He stayed in it, was getting hit, didn't change it, didn't break it up, kept going. So it kind of worried me a bit. I thought had high hopes of him. I thought he should be a tenacious guy in this 205 division. I know if no one should be betting on the 90s. That's the thing. If you can get Ryan Spann to the ground, maybe that's the only way Cirkunov can win. But Ryan Spann needs to keep it on the fight and just land strikes. He lands strikes, he's having a good day in the office because Misha Cirkunov's going to get knocked out, sparked out, and that will be it. Man, it's a tough one to call for me because that last fight was a big worry for me with Spann. Misha Cirkunov under 2.5. I hopefully get good odds for that, bro. I hope so. I bet Misha here. Okay, he showed us if he can get it to the ground, he manhandled people, and Spann versus Sam was way too close. It was. I feel that's. But doesn't Sam always make them close because he's such a weird fighter? Devin Clark, he did well. Look, Anton Nogueira did well. Luis Enrique, he did solid. He has done solid in some of the fights, man. So it is an awkward one. I agree. Sam Alvey should really be trying to stop someone like that. But I think one of the things with him was Ryan Spann was always wary of the counter strike that Sam Alvey has, and he does have a good counter. No matter who you want at division, he has got a good pop in his hands, and he has hurt quite a few people. But yeah, I can see why you'd think that. I'm actually going to go Spann in that one, man. Literally, the only reason I'm picking Spann is because the fight starts on the feet, and because it starts on the feet, and I know Cirkunov doesn't do well with punches. That's it. but I'm not confident on Spann now. That was a big alarm bell, that Johnny Walker fight. The fight IQ really worried me. I was a bit dubious then after that. You need to score Misha away from Spann. Paula, it's slow. Okay. Here we go. I need to play. All right. And Spann versus a weird fight. Yeah, kicked off the bubble era outside of the Brazil show. No card. Yeah, it did. Yeah. But like I said, I'm going to go Spann only because I just feel like he can land. He's got to land at least 1 or 2 punches, and that can make the whole difference. And he has not got bad power, guys. Let's be honest. He's got a massive arm reach. Really long, extended punches can really damage you. So Spann, I'm going to go for it, but I am not putting a dime on that fight. Can't go near it. Okay, let me quickly get this timestamp again, because you don't want people moaning. It's a timestamp. I want a timestamp because I don't want to press the buttons to skip to the fight. Quick timestamp there, done. Here we go. Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event. 5-rounder. Even though it's a short notice, Misha always gets hurt. He does get hurt, bro. He does get hurt a bit too much for my liking. But when he gets you to the ground, he's an absolute freak of nature. So it's a tough one in that aspect. But yeah, man. Belal Muhammad, short notice. He's had several weeks to prep for it. He's always in good condition, always got good cardio. This is a great fight for Belal Muhammad because it gets him a bit more on the map, gets him a bit more showcasing main event. I've always loved Belal Muhammad, always loved his skill set, good striking, good cardio, good submission game, good chin, good all-rounder. There's not much about him that I don't like. He's fighting Leon Edwards, who... Oh, man, like, part of me feels for Leon Edwards a bit, like the whole COVID thing going down with Kamzat, and then it just coming on and going off and coming. I'm good that Tyron Woodley fight didn't happen. I have to admit, absolutely devastated. Leon Edwards did not get to fight Tyron Woodley. I think that is an absolute shame. Yeah, just press the button and go to just listen. Just listen to the whole thing. Listen to the whole thing. Don't press the timestamps. Listen to the whole thing because it helps us. The minutes played helps our podcast. So help us. Edwards coming back from a long COVID. Yeah, Belal's fresh and has nothing to lose. Belal shot the world. Went on points. Oh, he's down for another. With Leon Edwards, run of luck. Muhammad by decision. They're going for an underdog, guys. This is insane, right? Okay, cool. A lot of people love it. I love Belal Muhammad as well, but this is, wow, okay. Interesting. Yeah, he hasn't fought since 2019, July, so it is just under 2 years for Leon Edwards. So that is a big time gap. Now, like I said to you before, it's not his fault. People weren't wanting to fight him. He just couldn't get matched up. Fights fell through. COVID happened for the time Woodley. I think if he fought Woodley, he probably would have put Woodley to bed. Absolutely. But I struggle with Belal in the fight because, yeah, it's a tough one. Here we go. No, Leon by decision. Oh, right, okay. Daniel, bro, it's okay if you want to go with Muhammad. No one's going to argue with you. It's a personal preference. Yeah, for me, Leon Edwards is a highly skilled fighter. He's got solid grappling. He can stop takedowns as well as get them. Like the Gunnar Nelson fight was a great example. Wicked striking, great timing, power. He's fast. I think he has a speed advantage in this one. I really do. I think he has got the speed advantage over Belal Muhammad. It's definitely going to be a stand-up fight. I can't really see the fight getting to the ground that much. I'd be shocked if either one of them go for grappling or try to get the fight to the ground. I think Belal's happy to keep it going on a kickboxing way. Yeah, man. Here we go. Who have agendas? I don't know agendas. Here we go. What's going on here? Oh, no. I keep clicking the wrong ones here, guys. Sorry. Belal decision plus 100. Not bad, but the ring rust must make bet small. Yeah, okay, Muhammad's a tough fighter to beat. Yeah, he is. He's a tough fight. The guy is so solid and all well-rounded. I love him to bits. All the people blame Leon for inactivity. other contenders. But it was for Leon Edwards. He did try to get fights. They just couldn't get the guys to fight him. There was actually no one. I think a couple of fights he wanted to make, but they just couldn't get that happen. Obviously, COVID happened. He only came off COVID. He only got COVID himself about a month and a half ago or something like that. But let's not forget what Leon Edwards is. I know he's not fought for a while. He's out of the picture. Not a lot of people talking about, but he did go and beat Rafael dos Anjos, Gunnar Nelson, Cerrone. Sabota was a good win as well, but Vincent Luque, Albert Turmanov, which I thought was a fantastic win at the time because Albert Turmanov was an absolute monster, absolute savage. He only lost 2 fights in the UFC and at both decisions. Claudio Silva, which you look back now, that's nuts. Then he lost to Kamaru Usman as well, decision. That was nuts as well to watch that. So that was crazy when you think about it. He lost to those 2 guys' decisions. And if he gets the win, he probably gets a chance to get the title shot against Usman. And the UFC probably need it. They probably do need this fight to go that way. Good take about them not wanting to grapple. Maybe he could actually get a finish here due to strikes or knockdown and really make a choke. Man, I'm going to go Edwards' decision. I really am. I think that he looks in great shape. Like, honestly, on his social media, he's never looked like he's out of fight camp. He's always looked in great condition because he's that team Renegade with your Tom Breeze, his brother Fabian, Jai Herbert. So if you look at that way, that team of guys have had fight camps going on these last 18 months. There's been a fight camp always around. He's part of the fight camp, part of the team. He's always involved. So he's always keeping himself sharp, keeping himself in shape. I do believe that Leon Edwards here should take the victory. Belal Muhammad will be a hard guy to fight. He'll be tough. He'll tough it out. He'll have his own ways sometimes. He'll get some good strikes in. But I do think Leon Edwards should get the W here. I don't think he should have any problems getting that W. Ahmed Pedroza, hello to you too, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are looking forward to this weekend's fight card too, brother. Some great fights. And let us know who you're picking for the main event, which is Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad. Love to know your thoughts. But yeah, there is a fight card going on, which this week's is a bit of a surprise one because usually after the pay-per-view cards, the fights cards are pretty bad, if I'm honest with you. But there's a handful of good fights on the card. Leon Edwards against Belal Muhammad, solid fight. Dan Ige, Gavin Tucker, solid fight as well. Eryk Anders, Darren Stewart, it's a good fun fight too. So there is a handful of little fights on here which I'm looking forward to. So Cirkunov and Spann is one that could be interesting, a good one to watch. So yeah, I'm going Leon Edwards. I think that he can land the more powerful strikes. I think he could probably land a bit more. As in, I think the output would probably go Belal, but I think landing more would be Leon. I think he's got really good timing with his footwork. If you watch him, he's really good at countering guys coming in, similar to Wonderboy. If you watch Wonderboy's timing, it's similar in that way. He's got good timing, good movement, very good at watching actions of people and reacting to them. So I'm going to go Leon Edwards with a decision, but I am not going to be shocked if you get like let's say a 48, 47 kind of scorecard here, because Belal is going to be a surprise guy for Leon Edwards here. It's going to be a tough outing for him. Next up we have is the betting side of things. As always, if you've just tuned in or you haven't subscribed already, hit that button, subscribe, hit the like button as well. It takes 2 seconds. All right, don't take it. You're quick enough to click on Pornhub, so you're quick enough to click the subscribe button here, guys and girls. Let's go to the betting side of things and look at this card quickly from a betting perspective. I've got some odds up here. I'm just going to start on what I haven't got it in card order, but it doesn't matter. Angela Hill, Ashley Yoder, awful. It's happening anyway. Minus 380 for Angela Hill. Ashley Yoder plus 280, so yikes. Charles Jourdain is minus 260, and Rojo is plus 200. Yeah, man. Charles is a bit unreliable, so I don't have too much to say on that one. I'm not uber confident. I wouldn't be uber confident anyway in that one myself. But, yeah. Cortney Casey, JJ Aldrich. Cortney Casey is plus 125 and Aldrich is minus 145. That's a nice tight one in the numbers. It might change a little bit come fight day. But Again, it's another one you want to avoid. Dan Ige, Gavin Tucker. Here we go. Ige's minus 135. Tucker's plus 105. For plus 105, that is not bad at all if you want to go for Tucker, because he has got a good chance. Here we go. Tough card to bet, I think. I agree, bro. You might look at this card as a potential to use for parlays in the future. So you might want to look at, see what's coming up and coming cards, and maybe parlay and match them up with other fights, if you're looking at it that way. Davey Grant, Jonathan Martinez. Davey Grant is plus 250 and Martinez minus 330. Jeez, what is going on there? That's a lot. That's a big gap. Like, Grant is not a bad underdog money there, guys. Woof. I like those. That's good dog money there. Eryk Anders, Darren Stewart. Eryk Anders is plus 155. Darren Stewart minus 190. So you could always pair someone up with Darren Stewart there, minus 190. It's not bad money at all. Gloria de Paula is minus 170, and Jinh Frey is plus 140. Again, Jinh Frey, she could bully her, get the win, plus 140. That's not bad odds at all. But again, Gloria and Darren Stewart, maybe parlay, you might get good plus money. Ray Rodriguez, Rodriguez is plus 240, and Ronnie Yahya is minus 300. Man, that's a big gap there as well. Yikes. What you got here, Daniel? Spann, Cirkunov under. Okay, Ronnie Yahya, Ray up under. Okay, Kape to win. Anders, Dentist over. Grant Martinez over. Yeah, Grant Martinez over. I'm definitely on that one. Anders and Dentist over. Yeah, because Eryk's a tough cookie. He can probably handle some of the hits Darren throws, but he'll have a tough time during the whole fight. So Kape win, yeah, I can see that too. Let's see here. Kape, what's he at the moment? He is minus 145, and Nicolau is plus 125. So again, that's not bad odds. That's okay. I'm kind of with that. I was absolutely devastated that Hapras and Don Madge was not happening. In fact, I am still bummed out about that, because I am a huge fan of Hapras and Don Madge. I thought that was going to be an insanely good fight, so absolutely gutted that fight fell through. Just thinking about it now. Philipe Lins, he's minus 110. I'm picking minus 110 for Rothwell and Lins, so it's not a pick 'em. It's stay the hell away from them. That is horrendous. Cirkunov and Spann. Cirkunov is minus 135. Spann plus 115. So you're getting plus money on Spann. I like that, man. Semelsberger is minus 125, and Witt is plus 105. So I was surprised. I didn't know the odds before, so I was surprised Semelsberger is a favorite on that one, but money's obviously coming in on him. On the main event there, look at this. Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad, minus 250, plus 200. Leon Edwards, rightly so, the favorite, but dang, there's some odds there, but I would probably stay away from them. Obviously, next week's card is Derek Brunson and Kevin Holland. That's next week's card they've got on there with Chai Tuivasa against Mays, Greg Gillespie against Brad Riddell, which is going to be a disgustingly interesting fight. You got a high-level wrestler against a high-level striker. Song Kanan against Max Griffin. Reneo against Shazan, sorry. Let's have a look. Who else you got on here? Paul Craig, Jamal Hill, Johnny Eduardo, Anthony Burshak. The Police, okay, against Trevin Giles. Some great little fights up in that card, guys. So looking forward to that one. That'll be a good one to go for. Let's have a look here. Gloria, Kape, yeah. Ashley Hill, Yoder over. Yahya under. Okay, yeah, I can get with that one. Apex is small, so might be another card with a lot of finishes. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why the UFC forced that to happen as well, that using that cage, because they force the action. It gets the finishes, it gets the views, gets the kind of highlight reels on the social media things, and gets people watching. It's only when it's like a pay-per-view and it's a main event, and they demand the main event might say, I want a big cage for my style of fighting. They might get it, but that's why the UFC will keep it like it is for now. But guys and girls, that's the betting side of things looked at and the picks. Thanks for joining in today. It's been a blast tuning in, talking with you guys and girls. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world. I'm going to go wrap this up. Have a great fight week. Enjoy the fight card coming up. Hopefully, Will might be back next week, depending on work, etc. So, and the same for myself. I don't know when we'll do that. Hopefully, we'll get it on Monday again. But if we can't, is what it is. But guys and girls, take care of yourselves, all right? We love you to bits. We want you to take care of each other, all right? So, here we go. Pleasure, guys. Absolute pleasure. Take care. I love you all. Speak to you soon, all right? Mwah.